What on earth is this? This decorated truck broke down before hauling cargo. After checking, they found it had not even hit the road before being overloaded, so the broken axle was inevitable. Due to the impact, the axle shaft bent. The tire was worn through too. Even so, the mechanics said it was minor damage, easy to fix. They quickly used a jack to lift the truck, but that was only step one. Luckily, the shop had an air compressor for powered disassembly. With the impact wrench, the mechanics quickly removed both rear wheels, but removing the wheels alone was not enough to remove the axle. To reduce its weight, after removing the drive shaft, they also removed the differential. The brake assembly on the other side had to come off as well. After removing everything, only the U-bolts remained. Once the U-bolts were removed, they slowly lowered the jack, and the axle came down. As usual, this axle could be repaired too, because in Pakistan, replacing parts is uncommon, but it could not be fixed on site, so they used a three-wheeler to haul it back to the shop. After a trip of 108,000 centimeters, the broken axle finally reached the shop. The first task was fixing the bent axle shaft. Only after straightening it could it be removed from the brake hub. Before that, the mechanic heated it with a torch to anneal the metal and soften it. After reaching the right temperature, they used a hammer to straighten it slightly. Then it could be removed. But to fully repair it, after removing the shaft, all parts on the axle tube had to be removed first. The axle housing was the same, only the bare housing could remain. Before cutting, they first used a tape measure to check the distance between the spring seats. After getting the exact measurement, they used a torch to cut it apart. Clearly, this axle had been repaired before. A thick steel plate had been added. That plate also had to be removed first. Then they used an angle grinder to grind the welds smooth. Learning from the last repair, this fix would be different. To make it stronger, the mechanic planned to add a sleeve inside to join the parts. Before assembly, they first ground the mounting area. Then they test fitted the sleeve. After confirming the fit, it was mounted on the lathe for the joining process. After clamping the axle tube, the mechanic drove the sleeve inside. Then he used welding to secure it permanently. Once secured, the joint surface was machined flat. Next, the axle housing could be joined back. However, it could not be welded right away. The mechanic still had to cut a V-shaped groove in the joint. This would make the weld stronger. After that, welding could begin. A weld this large is not easy. It must fit perfectly, or it could crack later. But for this skilled welder, it was no problem. He finished it in no time. The weld looked nearly flawless. But good was not enough. There was always room for improvement. So next, the mechanic used a grinder to smooth the weld beads. This improved the appearance. also made the next steps easier. After grinding, the reinforcement plates could be welded back on. This was not easy. Both upper and lower plates were installed the same way. After welding, the welds were ground again to carefully inspect whether every seam was solid. Once everything checked out, they could reinstall the spring seats. After positioning them correctly, they welded them in place. With that done, the axle repair was complete. The workmanship was impressive. Next, they used the three-wheeler again to haul it back to the truck. Then they reinstalled it. An axle like this is fairly easy to install. Just reverse the removal steps. Usually, the first part removed goes on last, and the last part removed goes on first. The process is simple enough, but there are many parts. After installing the brake shoes, brake assembly, bearings, and other parts, it was already dark outside. But that also meant the repair was nearly finished. At this point, only the wheels, differential, and drive shaft still needed to be installed. After that was done, they added gear oil as well. Although there was no oil pump, the mechanic used a funnel to finish the job quickly.